Go ahead and record. All right, well, welcome everybody. So happy to see all of your bright smiling faces. Such a treat. It's Monday, April 6th, somebody told me. And so we have some really exciting things. I know this is a weird month, hopefully never to be repeated again. But being unusual also means we have some very unusual opportunities too. And so I wanted to do one quick thing. We do have our Queen of Sales on the Star Thrower team with us tonight on the call, and that's Kaylee Peacock. So round of applause for Kaylee Peacock as our Queen of Sales. Kaylee was in her first full month in business. She started in early February. She came on really strong in February and continued really strong in March with fantastic sales and ended up being top in sales for the Star Thrower team. So congratulations, Kaylee. We've got some big plans for the future. I'm very excited for you. So let's see. We're going to do a couple of things tonight. The first one is Michelle Bardwell from our home office has some really great things that she wants to share. You know, she talks to people all over the country and is hearing what's working and what the great ideas are out there and the perspectives that are really reaping the fruit. And so I'm really excited to hear her share with us what she's learning and hearing. And then we'll be talking with Alicia Connor, Lisa Eddy, and Lori Downey with quick interviews tonight about some of the things that they've been learning over the last couple of weeks as they've had some really neat successes in turning our businesses around for this little window of time. So Michelle, thank you again for being with us. It's so sweet of you to offer. So I'm really excited to hear some of the things that you're excited to share with us.
Great. Well, I'm super glad to be here. One of the beauties of not having to be on an airplane right now, traveling around the country, is I get to join more teams, right? Because we have more time in our day. So this is exciting for me. I don't normally get to work with Betsey Bishop and you're her downline. So this is, I know, just as exciting for me to be here with all of you. For those of you that don't know who I am, like Betsey said, I do work for the home office. I'm a sales development manager. And so basically what that means is I've been doing this business a really long time, 21 years to be exact. That makes me old, but 21 years. And I used to be in the field, just like you guys. So I carried a kit, I booked parties, I sold product, I booked more parties, I shared the business opportunity, sponsored people, built leaders, and my passions really lie in sponsoring and leadership development. I am always floored by how, I know it changes men's lives too, but floored at how women's lives change through doing this business. So after many years in the business, I decided to go on the corporate side because what I got to focus on all the time was helping women to really develop their skills to sponsor more and become leaders and grow these great teams. So I get to do what I am passionate about every single day. And I have been blessed to be here at Touchstone Crystal for 2.5 years. And so it's been an incredible journey for me throughout the last 21 years. And like I said, I'm just excited to be here to share with all of you tonight. So my first question, knowing what my joys in this business are, sponsoring being one, my first question is going to be about that. How many people have been able to share this business opportunity in the wake of what we're experiencing right now? Show of hands. I see Liz, Amanda, Shanna. I see Lisa, a few people, Shell. Okay, so a few people. Now, those that haven't sponsored, you're gonna have to come off mute for just a second. So those that haven't sponsored, please, I hope you feel comfortable enough to share why. Why has sponsoring not happened?
I've had a few people interested.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought 3 were going to sign up.
Yeah.
And then we were all quarantined. They still were interested, but just like unfortunate things, like one of them lost their phone and had to get a new phone, and another one went and talked to all her friends and got talked out of it. And another one ended up having to work from home, her regular job, and felt completely, tapped by the end of the day to start, doing another, training.
So those are people you had talked to prior to the life we're in right now. Yes. So what about offering the business, let's say in the last 2 to 3 weeks? Anyone?
I do.
Yes, Debbie.
I haven't really had the opportunity to really talk to a lot of people.
Okay.
Whether it's just been laziness on my part or not being able to go out there face to face and talk to them. I feel better face to face than at a party when you're closing and all that. I'm not a person that when I'm out there wearing my jewelry, which we can't go into, we can't go out shopping around. I just haven't been able to really figure out how to go about doing that. Okay. And I do have ladies that have an interest. I have like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Just like Alicia said, they all have issues right now.
Yes. Yep.
So
and that's we all do, right? I mean, that's very true. Mm-hmm. So Debbie and Alicia, just so you all know, and as Betsey was saying, I talk to a lot of people. That's what I do morning, noon, and night every single day. But what I'm hearing are basically 3 top things. One, they've talked to people prior to, right? And so life is just too different now. They're not sure. Let's just wait. We're all trying to find our new normal right now, right? Or I call it the wave. We're all on a different wave, roller coaster, whatever you want to say, right? Sometimes we're deep in the depth of the wave. Sometimes we're riding it high, but we're all at different parts of the wave. Are you all with me on that? Like every day, it just changes from moment to moment. Okay, so that's one piece. The second piece is what you said, Debbie, right? Am I being lazy? Am I being a little shy? Am I unsure? I don't know the exact way to do it now because it's so different than where I was. And the third is that I hear over and over again, and I'm sure some of you can relate, is I'm fearful. I do not want to be pushy with people right now because people are hurting financially. I don't want them to think that I'm asking them because I need something. I just have this fear. Anybody relate to that one?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. Okay, I see some head shaking. So those are my main 3 things that I hear day in and day out when we talk about sponsoring. Here's what I want you guys to all hear. On top of speaking to leaders and consultants, I'm also talking to people that call in to Touchstone Crystal that want more information, right? I do, between me and the rest of the sales team, we do the Thursday op calls, but I also take a lot of calls. There have been a lot of phone calls of people just wanting information. Why are our phone calls going up? Why do you think we're talking to more people right now?
Jobs.
Exactly. If we look at statistically what happens in the direct sales industry, when financial crises hit, direct sales go spiking up every time. If you look through our generation, right, we've never been where we're at today, but every time you look at when the housing market crashes, when the stock market crashes, when people are scared, 9/11, when people hit this place, they look to other ways thinking, I need a side hustle, a little gig, a little extra money. I need something that brings me joy. And where do they look? They look to direct sales because we have all of that. Look at the women on this screen. I get goosebumps. Seriously, look at each other. This beautiful group of women get brought together so that we can feel joy and get support from one another. This doesn't happen in people's everyday life. It just doesn't, right? So, and we have Guy here joining us too. So Guy, you get to look at all of these beautiful women as Linda is, right? Pretty spectacular, yeah. Okay, so why I'm sharing this with you is I want you to think about that as you think about sponsoring. Now let's go back to some of the stories I'm hearing from live women on the phone. I talked to a woman, she actually lives in Colorado, which is where I live. It was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago today, 2 weeks ago tomorrow. And Colorado at noon said, we're closing all our restaurants, right? And it's going to be done tonight at midnight. We're done. Okay. So I talked to this woman the next day and she was freaking out. And I was like, okay, so let's just break this down a little bit. How much income do you need to be making? And she just couldn't even think about income. She's like, I live tip to tip. That's all she could say. I live tip to tip. I don't have a nest egg. I don't have a rainy day fund. I have nothing. Right? This was the middle of March. And she's like, I've got rent. I've got a car payment. And I said, okay, tip to tip. I get that. What do you need to be able to survive? The number was $1,200. $1,200. That's not astronomical, right? With our party average, when we're doing in-home live parties, she can do that in 6 parties. Now, right now, the party average is about $500, right? When I look at that. Still remarkable, which is higher than most other companies' in-home party average. So think about that, okay? So what I said to her is, okay, so I just want you to think about this. A party takes about 45 minutes when you do it virtually, and you're going to make about $125, okay? So to earn the $1,200 that you need, you're going to need to hold and submit 10 to 12 parties each month. Okay, they're 45 minutes long. And she's like, okay. And I said, we pay you every week. So if you were to start today, this was a Tuesday, have your launch party before Friday at midnight and have it submitted, you're getting a paycheck next Tuesday or Wednesday. She was completely floored and completely in tears. Yes, she had to get off the phone and digest it, right? I said, call me back with whatever questions you have. She ended up ordering her kit. She had her launch party. She's already collected 2 paychecks. That's one wait staff, one person. How many people do you know are in the same situation that live tip to tip? This last week, did you see how many retail employees got furloughed, got laid off? And yes, I believe we are doing some great stuff as far as, you know, all the aid that will be coming to them, okay? Did you know that when people are collecting unemployment, they can still do direct sales? So now I want you to think about, if you don't know anything about unemployment, you usually get 50% of what you were making. Wait staff don't claim all their tips. So they're not really getting 50% of what they were making, right? Everybody with me? Anybody else have a wait staff bartending experience, right? You didn't claim all your tips because you didn't pay taxes on all your tips. I did that for a great many years through college. But anyway, whole other story. So the thing is that you have to think of, we are another avenue for people to support themselves right now. So all of that for this. Going back to what Debbie was sharing, like, I'm not sure, I'm not talking face-to-face to people. It's different now. So what's different? We are doing virtual parties, absolutely. But during your virtual party, and I know we're going to talk about parties with Alicia and Lisa and Lori in just a minute, but at your parties, even virtually, you do the 5 elements, right? 2 of those elements are your why and the Q&A. Has to be done at every party, because that's how you put it out there and not feel pushy. You make it in a game form, whether it's for a raffle ticket or however you choose to do it. And then how you sponsor is when you're doing the close of that party and you talk about ordering, which I know they're going to talk about that in a minute. But then you say, I know you all came tonight, might not thinking about looking for another business opportunity or an income possibility, but I'm very passionate about my business. And I know you heard some great, answers to some questions. And I would love to have a cup of coffee with you tomorrow via Zoom, just like this, the 2 of us, for 10 minutes and just answer whatever questions you might have. When I call you to finalize your order and answer any questions you have, we can discuss it then, okay? Then you go on. Now you follow up with each person that attended your party. Thank you, Angela, so much for coming to Betsey's party tonight. It was so wonderful getting to meet you. When's a great time for me to just have a couple minute conversation with you? Okay, Angela might not be placing an order. That's okay. I'm still going to talk to her and just have a conversation. When I call Angela, what did you think about the party platform, the party presentation? Oh my gosh, I've never done anything about that. I'm not an in-home party person, but I could do this part. You know what? This might be a great opportunity for you to have some fun over the next few months. What do you think about making or needing some extra income? You just ask them questions. Would you like to have a cup of coffee tomorrow? 10 minutes, promise, no pressure, just answering any questions you might have. I'm not sure tomorrow morning works. I do homeschooling with the kids. Well, awesome. Why don't we do happy hour tomorrow afternoon? See what I'm saying? It's just offering. Now, if I call Angela and I notice there's push, I'm not going to push in any way, shape, or form. There's going to be no pushing, but it's an offer. If you are not making the offer, they'll always say no. They will not know that there is an opportunity here for them to make income. This one story I shared about the wait staff, the tip to tip lady, I've got 12 other of them, and that's just from me. I hear these stories from other consultants and other sales team members. It's over and over again. People need it. So I told you guys when I started talking, and I'm sorry I'm talking a couple minutes extra, Betsy. I will stop talking.
Oh no, this is beautiful.
But when I started this business 21 years ago, I got the passion of being able to share this business with other women. If you haven't gotten that passion right now is your time to truly see how you can affect someone else's life, and you'll get the passion. It will flip your sponsoring switch, and you'll just, from here on out, even when we go back to doing in-home parties, your sponsoring switch will be flipped. This is your time to shine, because what you are is giving a gift to every other woman out there that needs it. Right? So if anything you get from me tonight is just put it out there and do the ask, gentle offer, and see who needs you to help support them in changing their life right now. And then they can be a beautiful face on here next month and be able to share in the joy and the wisdom that this team brings. Right?
Right.
Love it.
Okay. So thank you all for listening. And I will be keeping tabs through Betsy on who's kind of said, yes, I'm going to go and take full advantage of what we have to offer.
That's great.
Okay.
Great. Do you have time for a question or two, Michelle, or do you have?
Yes, I certainly do. Yep.
Okay. Who has a question for Michelle about sponsoring, how-tos, word choices, anything like that? You'll have to unmute too. Sorry. I have you all muted.
I must have answered all of their questions.
So.
I was so thorough.
You did. It was so comprehensive. Thank you so much, Michelle. We really appreciate everything that the home office has done for us. Unilaterally, I hear every single day how appreciative we all are for everything that you all have done for us here in the field.
So you're very welcome. We
yet
love
one more
our
thing
field.
we appreciate. All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to stay on for just a few more minutes. I want to hear the start to the panel, and then I got to jump to another team meeting. But thank you, everybody.
All right. Super.
Thank you.
Michelle. Gosh, what a treat, huh? Was that amazing? It's like having a celebrity in with us. It's really fun. Okay. So next thing I want to do is talk about these parties that we're doing. And so my feeling on all of this, ladies, is that this is a short season of our business lives and regular lives too. But when we're talking about our business, this is a short season of life. And I want us to find a way to make the most of this time and to see it as an opportunity for ourselves, to build in a way that we would have not tried to focus on otherwise. And so what's going to happen is we're going to be meeting people that we would have never met before. We're going to be doing parties and selling to women that we would have never met. And not only that, I think we have an opportunity, as Michelle said, to not only grow our teams, but to grow our teams in other places, to find team members all over the country because of the way we're doing these parties for this short season in time. So what I want to do is interview briefly 3 people who have been doing some interesting things. And I don't pretend to know all the answers of what they're going to say, but I've already given them the questions. So what we're going to do is talk about the before the party, like how we book the parties. That's Alicia Connor. Then we're going to have Lisa Eddy from Florida talk to us about what she's been doing that's really been successful over the last couple of weeks. And then we're going to have Lori Downey from North Carolina share with us about how she's doing handling checkout. You know, before all this stuff happened, remember we were learning how to do a really productive checkout. And all of a sudden, bam, life hit us all in the face and we had to retool it all in the way we do this. But the cool thing is that Lori kept all of that in her head and she's found a way to incorporate that. So let me start with Alicia Connor. Hi, Alicia. Thanks for being on. Where are you? Are you unmuted?
Yep.
Okay, great. So Alicia, you were very engaged in social media before all of this started. You were trying some really fun and interesting things. And so you were really in a headspace that you were pretty prepared for this. But I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, who are the best people to offer parties to like this?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everybody. I'm a mom of four kids, so now I have them all at home, and so it's really important that I'm very focused during my work hours and getting stuff accomplished. So I've been trying to spend an hour a day reaching out to people, and what I have found is that the list of people that I've come up with during that power hour, you might say, are people that I know that live in different states. Okay, so they're people that I've gone to high school with, that have moved out of town. They are people, in the military. They are people who, my family member who lives in Tampa, Florida. So they're people that I never would have had a personal home party with, that now, I had a list of 10. And the way I found them, I didn't just come up with them randomly. I went to my Facebook friends and I started going through my list of Facebook friends. Because, guys, honestly, all your Facebook friends are warm leads. It's not cold calling them. They all know you. And even if you did accept a friend request of somebody else's friend, and you come across their name and you've never reached out to them, it's a perfect time to say, hey, I was cleaning up my friends list on Facebook and I came across your name and I just wanted to connect with you. How are you doing? And it's as simple as that. So that's how I came up with my recent list of people I was going to ask to host.
I really like that. Alicia, what are some of the keywords that you use? So let's say you start a conversation and maybe it's not right off the bat diving in about a jewelry party, but when you turn the conversation to this idea of the jewelry party, what kinds of word choices are you coming up with that are working?
Sure. People that I'm closer to, like family members or people I've gone to high school with and kept in touch. I basically sent something like this. Hey, Kate, how are you doing? Since everyone is using Zoom these days, what would you think about hosting a Zoom jewelry party for your friends in the area? I would say like your Rochester friends or your Florida friends, just to make the distinction that I'm thinking about them because they have a new group of people for me. We could call it a slippers and sparkle or jammies and jewels party. My virtual parties only last about 30 minutes. No food prep or cleaning. Just a fun distraction from the COVID chaos. What do you think?
It's really good. I like that a lot. I like it. And so you were telling me last night that you had sent to the 10 and share real quickly. This was not one of the questions that I had. This was not the third question, but I wonder if you'd mind sharing what ended up happening with those 10.
Well, the first time nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
I was done reaching out for the people that I reached out to for that hour, and I couldn't work anymore. So I set my work down, and you know, did what I needed to do, and I didn't go back to it till the next day. But I really wanted to book another party this month. I want to book more than one party, but you know, I wanted to do it quickly, more than later, because I like to book my parties at the beginning of the month. Anyways, I just looked at all the messages that I had sent the day before, and because my message box wasn't filled with other people's messages and stuff like that, I just went right back and I copied the same exact message to those people and I pasted it again as if they didn't even receive it. And when I did that, all the little dots started coming up and people started responding to me.
And what happened?
Well, I booked two more parties.
Wow.
One with a friend who is actually a nurse practitioner, and we went to high school together, and she said, that sounds like a great idea. And then she went into telling me detail by detail what's been going on with her own business. Okay. Which was fine. It was a great way to catch up. I didn't really have the time to respond to her. So I said, can we catch up tomorrow? And I booked a time to talk with her today. And we did, and we talked, and I even offered the business opportunity to her today. So we've got a few ideas in motion. A lot of people said, I just can't wrap my head around that right now. And that's okay. It was a chance to, you know, really make a connection and say, you know, tell me about that. What's going on? How are you doing? And really just keep it more at a personal level. And that's okay. That's okay. You know, maybe that's something down the road that they'll be ready for. But in that sense, you're just planting a seed and you know, making a personal connection with people. You know, if it's not a no, right? It's not a no, it's just a no, not right now, you know?
That's great. That's great, Alicia. Great advice, all of it. And congratulations. I love the way that you're pigeonholing all of your work. I love that you went back and sent all those messages again. I love that you're getting some responses to it too. It's great. Thank you. Okay. Lisa Eddy in Florida. So Lisa has been very interesting to watch lately. And so Lisa, what kinds of parties have you been doing these last 3 weeks? Can you be specific? What kinds of parties that you've been doing these last 3 weeks?
Yep. Okay. I'm here in my pajamas. Don't be judging anyone. Okay. So it all for me, you know, to kind of backtrack a little bit, anyone who knows me, my first year of doing this, I only did it online. So this is like, I'm like literally a kid in a candy store right now. Cause I'm like, oh my God, everything's online. I totally got this. So I started really spiraling into the live parties in my second to beginning of third year. And then I started getting a little bit more confident and out there, and not confident in the sense that it was anything, you know, I'm a very confident person, but just time-wise, you know, I have a very crazy job, married to a cop, kids, crazy, the whole life, like everyone else. So the last party I did was a live party. It was actually on 3/12 during the COVID beginning crisis. So we called it the COVID Bash Dash. It was a pretty large, successful party in the sense that she had about 30 to 40 people that were coming in this hoity-toity neighborhood. I booked from another party, and we were really excited and stoked. And while we were sitting there, people started canceling because they were scared. So we had about maybe 5 people that showed up that night and a whole lot of wine, and we just had fun. And it was really, for me, just a fun evening to kind of sit there, you know, and have a good opportunity with each of them, learn about them. From that point, we flipped it to online. So she was able to incorporate the rest of the individuals that were invited because, again, it was a larger party. You know, I just really sat there and kind of took the time to, you know, connect with them, you know, like, okay, where are we at, you know, and kind of go line by line. So there was a batch of teachers. So I said, okay, great, batch of teachers. Well, I just did that party a couple nights ago. And there was literally, I think all of my county was on there. So there was 50 people, if not, and it just, you know, continuously goes.
So when you say, hold on a second. So when you say online, what do you mean by online?
Right. Yep. So that's another thing. So a lot of individuals, I feel, are doing the Zoom option. I'm not doing that. I'm doing more of a post after post. It's very interactive. I pretty much get comments on every single I post. Some are fun, some are giveaways, some are, hey, tell me about you. How do you know the host? Here's me. Here's, just kind of really make it as interactive as I possibly can. Great at marketing, so I feel that that really helps me to my advantage. I just try to have fun, be creative, make it to be where they're going to want to be replying. Picture of this nice pretty necklace. Well, great. One of my funny lines that I catch their attention is the society bracelet, and I say something like, I can't even think right now. It's like gosh, I can't remember how I worded it, but it was something silly like attention ladies, I now pronounce you your new husband, the society bracelet, you're welcome. And literally, two people are like, oh my God, we totally want that. So just be fun, creative, and catchy is definitely working from the post after post after post.
Are you doing these on an event? Is it a Facebook event page or is it a Facebook group that you've created?
A Facebook event page.
Okay.
Feel that I have more control in that. I'm able to kind of, really navigate it through a group. And for me personally, I'm not saying that it doesn't work for other individuals, but I feel it's a little bit more personalized if you're actually inviting the individual versus being asked to join a group and then you're just sitting there. Me personally, I get invited to tons of things and I look at it and then I just, never see it again for no other reason other than it's not fresh in my mind. Or a Facebook event invite, it will remind you, it will kind of stalk you without you even knowing it.
Okay. How do you get orders? What is the compulsion to them to place the order?
So I use motivators, of course, like anyone else. I try to. So, I'll do, hey, pre-orders, anyone today, will be entered into a drawing to wear a pair of ice earrings. I don't like to do this a whole lot because I certainly don't want to come out of my own pocket, but it's helping me. And if I get a pair of ice earrings for $15 just to push additional sales, well, then I'm going to do that, just to kind of push that through from there. So I try to be creative with what the giveaways are. Some of them might be items that I already have in stock. If they're local, it might even be a bottle of wine, whatever. So definitely motivate them with free and put deadlines on that to push those orders. Like today, I posted something on a previous party from Thursday that just said, hey, any orders today will be entered in for blah, blah, blah. Well, I literally, before we jumped on this call, looked in my emails to get on here and, it said that I had a $62 order that I was not expecting. So just setting that motivator.
So since all this stuff started, how many parties have you been running on Facebook event pages? Like 3?
I've done 4. Yeah. 3 this past week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay. And how much have you sold so far?
My total PSV was 3,227. And then again, I have that new order that just came in that was unexpected. And then there people that just messaged me while we were on the call and said, just asking questions, one about the society bracelet and some other little things. So there's definitely more coming in. But then it kind of flows, as we all know. So I got 3 bookings from it, 1 possible consultant that I'm trying to flip. So it's just, for whatever reason, I feel the audience is here. They're readily at our fingertips. They have nothing to do than to be glued to their phones or TVs, like trying to get updates on.
Interesting. Right.
This is a good, distractor for them. So even if they're not interested in buying, I feel like it's, where they're, we're easily right in front of them. So let's just be the attention for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's amazing. One thing that I've observed in being on yours is that on watching your event that you're doing, one of your events pages, is that you really use your sense of humor. I mean, you're almost cheeky. It's really cute. You're very entertaining. You don't stand in formality, and you definitely keep it very, conversationally chatty.
Yeah.
It's really neat. The tone that you've struck really is striking a chord with these women, and I really like it. I wonder maybe if you would mind sharing screenshots of some of the messages, just like a whole rash, people can see just the general tone, because it's it's fun and lively, and it's clearly attracting their attention. Okay, let me just real quickly. Question: do you the Facebook events that you are creating, are they private? Do you set them up as private, or do you set them up as public?
Private.
Okay.
I mean, depending on what the host would like, sometimes they want to post it to their own page. And I think if it's private, you can't do that. So one of them did ask me, hey, can we make this where I can share this on my page?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or it is private.
Okay. And then another person wanted to find out what it was that you said about the society bracelet. Maybe you can find that post and make sure that's one of your screenshots so we can see.
Yep.
I did spot that one, and I thought it was really cute the way you. I mean, she's just very. It's not that she's doing anything that any of us can't do. But she's clearly she's setting the mold for us. And then another question was, Lisa, how long do you make the event go on?
So that evening, I try to only dedicate an hour, just because, let's be real, we all have our own things going on. So an hour of that live interaction.
So you're like live on, but are you going live?
No, right. I meant like
just
me,
posting for an hour straight.
Correct.
And doing
things before or after. I'm like,
okay, and then before and after. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But then how long do you leave the event open, the event page open?
Yep. So I kind of leave it up to the host. Ideally we like to hurry up, close down, be done. However, I don't personally think that's effective, because of the fact that you get these stragglers, like just had that order come in from Thursday. If I close the party out, where would that order have gone?
Right.
So I would say general rule of thumb, a week. We did ask, one host did ask me if I can leave it open for a month. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't. So I would say a week, that gives people enough time if they are still working and are waiting for that extra paycheck, just to kind of come in, Friday to Friday or something along those lines.
Great. I love it. Okay. Lisa, our heads are spinning. That is amazing. I cannot wait to see where you land. I know you were like, I wish we had the
sneakers. I'm like, I just want the sneakers.
Trust me, if I could get you a pair of those sneakers, I would do it, girl. I really would.
I'm size 9. No, I'm just kidding.
What size are you? Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. And then, okay. And then last but not least at all is Lori Downey. So Lori was able to flip her business and start doing some Zoom events, and she's really captured some simple ways of making sure that she's getting orders and doing really good customer care at her checkout. So Lori, where are you?
You see me?
There you are. Okay, hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Last night on our leader huddle, you knew as soon as you opened your mouth to tell us what you were doing that I was going to ask you to speak tonight.
Yeah, I kind of anticipated it.
So thank you for that. I appreciate it.
It's okay. I don't mind.
You're so gracious. Okay. How do you, so when you're on a Zoom party with people, you've got the guests on there and the host is on there, how do you get guests information from when you're on that party with them? Because you don't know these people. So how are you getting their info?
I'm actually asking them to text me their number and their name. I was just looking for I'll hold it up. Actually, if you guys look at my name, you can see that you can add your phone number to your name. Pretty simple.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Someone clicks, and don't ask me how I did it, but it was pretty simple to figure out. You can just, even where your name is, you just go in, and after my last name, I just put in my phone number. So that's one place that it shows up. But then I hold up it's not fancy. I literally wrote it with a Sharpie, that I just put my number on a piece of paper. And after I do the intro, which is the standard intro, I take a break to hold that up and ask people to text me their name. And also I let them know that I will choose, it depends on how many people are on the call. So say if there were 5 people on the call, I'd say, well, the third person who texts me, you're going to get a sparkly prize. And then the other thing I'm doing is, once they text me, I'm texting them back the flip catalog, so that they can be looking through that as we're going through the Zoom. And the sparkly prize is just literally one of the Touchstones.
Okay.
So nothing like extravagant. So I'm getting their, almost everyone is texting me. So I
Okay.
have their information.
That's great. I love that. What do you say? So then you go through your 5-part party and you finish
Oh,
up.
can I
Oh,
tell you one more thing?
yes, please.
Also tell them if they text me that they will get a freebie, like a giveaway that I will give to everybody after the call. So even if they're not like the Touchstone winner, they're gonna still get something from me as a thank you for joining. And that is if you guys have seen it, I think I posted on the Star Thrower page, but it's also from resources. It's the face shapes with the earrings and the jewelry, like what's complimentary. So it's just like a little thing that I can text them after the call.
This one, Lori.
Right now I'm looking at Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa, let me unpin you. Hold on.
Okay.
Oh yes, that one.
That one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. And Alicia wants to know, do you text them back during the party or is that after? That's
No,
after.
I text them while I take a minute and while they're texting me, I go ahead and text them the flip book. So I have the flip book as a shortcut in my phone. And, but once you text it to one person, you can just copy and paste it to everybody who is texting
That's
you.
really smart. So you're doing a little parenthesis in your presentation after part 1 to take care of that little bit of housekeeping. And now you've got everybody's name and phone number. Okay. So then, so what happens next? So you do your presentation, you finish up, and people are asking you to show them different things. And then what happens?
Well, after I do my why and I do the FAQs, the question and answer, I do let people know what the special is, the host special, and then I let them know that I will be connecting with them after the call to help them with their order and to share the specials and to help them save money. And so I kind of set the expectation that I'll be reaching out to them. And so after the last one that I had Friday night, I just stayed on longer than normal. And I was, the cool thing about texting people a catalog is if they see things that you have and you just kind of hang out, you can show them. If they ask you if you have it, you can actually show it to them. So that happened Friday night, and I was on my call a little bit longer, but I was showing people, like, the difference between the legacy and the millionaires. They wanted to see. It was just more interactive. And then people, then I ended up connecting with 4 of the ladies after the call, and 2 of them actually took their order over the phone, and the other 2 had already ordered online, but we still talked. And so it was nice, because if you do that, then what you're able to do is replicate that checkout conversation that you would have at a live party. And that's the one piece that's missing. If you're having them order through the link, then you're not able to have that conversation. So I recommend doing that. Now, there were a couple of people I reached out to after, and I text message, it's now a good time for me to connect with you. And they said they were all set. And so then I just thanked them for their order or whatnot, and, shared the freebie. And so that's okay too.
Okay. Any other key points?
I don't think so. I'm enjoying the Zoom calls, so I wouldn't, everybody has to find kind of their niche, and what they feel comfortable doing. But I'm combining the Zoom with a Facebook event, and I think it's a good combination for me. And what I'm learning is that women are enjoying this opportunity of being able to kind of chat with other women, and it's just like a nice break. So it's been fun and relatively easy, and all my orders for the most part come in that night, and then you're kind of done. I do a giveaway. If people get their orders in that night, then they go into a drawing for, I have been doing a stretch bracelet, but I think I'm going to start just doing a piece of retired jewelry, because I want to work through some of that now.
Yeah, right. Right, exactly. Okay. That's amazing. So thank you, Lori. Anything else that you wanted to add, or is that it?
That is all I have. Let's see. Somebody's asking a question. Are you going live in the event and on Zoom at the same time? I'm not going live in the event at the same time I'm doing Zoom. I have tried to remember to record my Zoom, and I forget every single time.
Huh.
So I haven't posted that. But one of the events I did go live the next day in the Facebook event, and just, I don't remember what I said, but I just shared a few things like the customer special and when we were closing the party. So I think you could do both. I think you could.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really neat. Fascinating. So here we've got a couple different ways of doing this, and they're both really working. And so it's neat because then, like you said, Lori, you can connect, you can create your niche for this season of time. But you know, honestly, I can see us doing these kinds of parties forever, in addition to our live in-home parties. And it's an option now for people who don't even live anywhere near us that we will have gotten really good at. So that's why I say this is such a unique season that we can utilize for the future.
That's Betsy. That's the one thing I would tell everybody is that my big aha about doing these parties is that you are able to connect with people that in a normal scenario you would never come across. I got two bookings from one of my parties this past week. One lady's in Virginia and one lady's in West Virginia, and I never would have been able to do parties with them. And so now they're introducing me to their whole circle in those states. And a lot of the orders that I've been getting have not been like local to me. They've been in other states all over the country. So it really is opening all of us up to circles and opportunities that we would not have probably come across. And so even after this all gets we get through all of this, I still think it would be worthwhile if you're doing live parties to see if you're offer to your host to get some of our out of town guests together on a Zoom call, just for a short call. I think
great idea.
Doing both of those now.
That's a great idea, and offer to do both for the same hostess. Yeah, that's I would never have thought. That's a great idea. I love it. So, well, let's wrap this up. This has been amazing, and you all have had such great questions. Lisa just posted what she says about the society bracelet. Ladies, meet the society bracelet. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You're welcome. Said in sterling, this is an absolute stunner. See, and this is the tone that she keeps up during this whole thing. So hopefully she'll grab some screenshots and just post them on the Star Thrower team page so we can see what they all look like. But really, y'all are just, you three ladies have really embraced this, and I so appreciate you sharing your wealth of knowledge. I wanted to share one last thing with you. I'm going to host a party up Study Hall tomorrow night, 8:30 here on this Zoom link until 9:30. For those of you who would like to sit down and dedicate an hour to booking your parties, and here's the really interesting thing that I was sharing with Kay Higby this morning. Think how fun it would be to track the numbers of generations of parties in this 1 month, because it'll be a record. So let's say Lori Downey did a party last Thursday, which was the 2nd, and from that she books a party for this Thursday, and then from that she books a party for next Tuesday, and from that she books a party for the following Friday, and from that she books a party for the next Wednesday. Because now our party cycle is 3 to 4 days, whereas it used to be 2-3 weeks, right? So we're going to be able to squeeze in a much shorter hostess coaching period and wind up with some really cool sets of generations of parties all throughout this month, because it's double host dollars. A lot more women are going to want to do this with us. So tomorrow night, let's kick it off for those of you who want help and want to spend an hour with me, because I would like to also, 8:30 right back here on this Zoom. For those of you on the Star Thrower team, we're doing Blingo on Thursday night. It's another opportunity for you to invite people to see the jewelry, hopefully get some parties booked of your own once they see the Zoom platform. For those who are kind of low tech, people in other parts of the country, that's who you really want to be inviting, is people from other parts of the country that you would not normally get to do any business with. So that's for Thursday night, the Blingo for the Star Thrower team. So anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much for being on tonight. And post your questions tonight. I'm going to reload this whole recording on the team page. And you're welcome to post any more questions that you come up with, or reach out to these ladies individually as well, okay? Thanks to all of our speakers. And thanks to Michelle, who is now gone. Love seeing you all. And thanks for being with us. Have a great night.
Thanks,
ladies.
Betsy.
Night, Betsey.
Everybody.
So much.
Night.
Good night.
Night.